hello. How are you?
Oh my God, I am so happy to see you. This is exactly what I need.
Fine.
Honestly.
Just a second. I have to put my heads because sound is not as I hoped it will be.
Okay,
Just
no
a second.
problem, no problem. There are loads of people joining. Hi, Ashavel. This is great. I already said that Nanmana is already live watching us, and our colleagues from Germany. So it's wonderful to see you all.
Hi,
Hi,
here
Seida.
I am.
Can you hear us okay now?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there is something with my phone. I have no idea what exactly, but something is with sound. How are you?
Saida, I am so happy to see you, honestly. It's so wonderful to see you in your living room. I wish I was there with you in person, honestly.
Oh, me too, definitely. Same from my side to you. Are you in your room, working room?
I'm at the moment in my daughter's room. I'm hiding in my daughter's room because I don't have my own room, right? And so because everybody is at home.
I mean, I remember before when we used to also have online meetings that you had your space.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's my living room because my internet is the best in this corner, so I had to make it here.
That is so wonderful. Saida, I was wondering, maybe we can start off by introducing you to our Women for Women International followers, and just kind of share with them that you are the wise woman amongst Women for Women International. You've been there really pretty much from the beginning, isn't it? So it would be lovely just to talk a little bit about how you how you came to Women for Women International and what you did, because of course, Bosnia was the first country that Women for Women International had our operations.
Yeah. Of course. I mean, honestly, when I'm talking about beginning of my engagement with Women for Women, I really have always really nice feeling because it was enormously excited. I mean, I joined a long time ago. Precisely.
16. How many years ago now?
On 15th of June, it's going to be 22 years.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is really. It is amazing. And, I mean, when I met with Zainab, who is the founder of the organization, I really was so inspired. And so we like from the immediately as we met, we understood each other, and I think we shared inspiration from both of us. And when I don't know, it's just Zainab invited me to join the team, and I did, and I really enjoyed, and I am still enjoying, and I really think it is absolutely a fantastic decision that I made to join Women for Women. I mean, personally myself, I am coming from a family where I have I'm one of 4 sisters, so like women's issues is something very important for me. And also I always mention that like my father is one of the biggest feminists in the world. So I think it was my destiny really to work for women's rights and to support women in Bosnia and Herzegovina, particularly after a war when we developed our core program and when I joined Women for Women. So
I know, which was such an incredible time, because I feel so lucky to know you, Saida, and I've known you now for nearly 12 years, and I remember so well when I first met you and you told me how you first started at Women for International and how it was such a personal thing for you as well, and also how of course everyone in Bosnia had experienced, particularly when you stayed during the war, have their own stories as well, right? And so you were also able to connect with the women directly based on your own experience, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I think by now everyone knows that war in Bosnia was really horrible, and that I spent entire war in being in Sarajevo and listening stories from outside of Sarajevo, how many women really were raped, how had very, very difficult lives, conditions, and everything. So when war was over, when Sarajevo was open, of course it was after Dayton Agreement was signed, and when Zainab came, she came a little earlier, but I met her in 1997. So when she was talking about so passionately about women and support to women, for me it was just a click. Oh, fantastic! This is what I want to do, and then I would say then we started together journey really of Women for Women. I mean, and also I often say Women for Women, first name of Women for Women International was Women for Women in Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then when I joined, it was just precisely when we started to create our core program, well-known core program, which is even today, I would say, more or less same as we created that, and it was just fantastic and so inspiring. And I have to say that I mean, we were much younger than right now, so enthusiastic, so inspired, so beautiful. And a couple of days ago, I was watching your interview with a colleague from Iraq.
Yeah, Shan, right,
Shah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was so happy to see that enthusiasm and that beautiful energy and everything. It just really reminded me of us for the time that we started to work for Women. And I have to say that there is always great and beautiful energy and inspiration when it's Women for Women and women that we are actually serving.
It's so true. It's so true. And, you know, I was just on my Instagram. I've got, I always keep stories from my different trips and from different things I do. And I was just going through my Bosnia stories and the kind of recent trips that I've been, you know, and seeing you and meeting, you know, meeting women who graduated over the years and the associations. And I'd love you to tell us more about them in a minute. But also, of course, meeting the young women in your program now, and actually, I don't know whether you can see this, Seida, but there are quite a few who are following our conversation just now. I just
yes,
saw.
I just yes, thank you, ciao, ladies.
Hello. I just say,
Wonderful.
And talk,
I love them all.
Right, and talk about the energy. I mean, and honestly, both last times that I came and I met the women in the Democracy Academy. You know, it was just incredible, the energy, right,
Yeah.
and the determination to overcome challenges, and the commitment to Bosnia as well. I mean, it's super inspiring.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so just for our supporters who are listening us, like for almost 20 years, a little less than 20 years, we were working with women mostly in rural areas, supporting them to help them in their process of empowering themselves economically, politically, and a lot socially. I would say that socially is also quite big. A big success, I would say, of activities that we are implementing.
Right? Exactly. Yeah.
Very much.
It's harder
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say it's harder to measure, right? But it's so important, the social connections, right?
Yes. But actually, at this particular moment, it is shown that social empowerment and connection and engagement showed right now how important it is and how much they grow up in that in this segment of you know, their lives, you know. I mean, I'm sure we will talk about that later, but like basically now they are absolutely playing fantastic role in their communities. And
let's talk about this now, because this is in relation to COVID, right?
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about this now. Tell me about it.
Sure. So we have a number of associations around Bosnia and Herzegovina who recognize that being organized in groups, in some cases associations, is very important. And we, as the organization, also recognize that it is so important that they are organized, because if they are organized, they can do much more things together when they need it. So when COVID-19 broke, and when when situation raised as everywhere else, what happened is that face mask, protective face mask, just were gone overnight. There is no, usually, it's of course not things that we are using every day. And so what happened is that women by themselves organized. Yes.
And so they came together and they're sewing face.
They came together and they started to sew masks, and then they started to communicate. We have a Viber group that actually they are talking and communicating, presidents of associations, and they started to share. We are started to do masks, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Every associations right now is engaged in creating masks. And actually, some of them just a few days ago also informed us that they are not in that huge demand for masks right now, because it's fixed. It came for medical mask, and also they made. I think that they made like maybe 20,000, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, enormous. Maybe even more. Thousands. We're talking about thousands. But now they are doing these special suits for medicinal personnel. So it's also absolutely fantastic, really. First of all, it was fantastic. It was fantastic that they are doing that, supporting their communities. But also it was very emotional for me. Like, oh my God, this is fantastic. It means we did something, in all of these years. Yeah, it's fantastic.
And I know it's so much. It's first of all, like you say, the community building, right? And
absolutely.
Yeah, but also this entrepreneurial spirit. That the situation changes, and this is one of the things that we've been talking about at Women for International in the last 5 weeks. We've been talking about resilience and how this is something that we are all having to learn now, and to adapt to a really changing environment, and to realize that you can, and to be really inspired by the women in our program. And when we heard the story, when you told us, that women have come together and they're sewing face masks, and now they're sewing uniform for medical staff. It's just really encouraging and incredible to hear, both from the kind of community, but also from the entrepreneurial spirit, because that is really how we need to approach this situation right now. How are you coping personally, Seida? How are you feeling?
Myself?
Yeah.
I feel good right now. I have to say, Bosnian people in Bosnia are people who, we survived war, which wasn't really which was really, conditions that we passed are really unbelievable. So one filmmaker recently had an interview and talking about current situation here, and I keep repeating him because I really think he is right. He said, if this is quarantine For us, this is deluxe quarantine. We have food, we have food, we have water, we have phone, we have TV, we have home. You know, like, so I mean, we have to, you know, smile. But that's really true. I mean, we unfortunately have experience of very hard living conditions during the war, particularly people in Sarajevo who absolutely were under siege. And when this started, it absolutely, we all were reminded, and you know, and also we didn't know what to expect, and etc. But I think that now things are absolutely calming down. Situation is not horrible, it's okay. So I think that people are, I would say, doing okay, doing well.
Yeah. And what is the impact on the kind of Business Academy and the Democracy Academy? Have you had to wait with the trainings, or were they not scheduled for now anyway, or what's the situation?
Academies for young women, we did not have any schedule. We haven't started academy because of resources that we will need. But we currently are working with 2 associations, basically kind of projects that involved trainings and meetings with women. But what we what we innovated, my colleagues, what really started to do, 2 days ago, they did basically pilot, and this was fantastic. We started online education for women.
Oh, really? Amazing.
Yes, and we didn't know what to expect in terms of women, how they feel, and how it will be, is it possible, what technology. But actually, first of all, my colleagues, Nermana and Belma, did great job in terms of preparing everything, preparing women as well. So it seems that it's quite successful new way of teaching women. And what was fantastic, because I was very eager to hear what women think about that, what was fantastic is that women are so happy, and they keep saying, please, thank you so much that you didn't forget about us and about work. I mean, trainings that they have to do together. So it's fantastic. And but that particularly is new association, which is the association that it is forming right now. They are not like 100% our graduates, but they are graduates. They are from the village where we used to work, our core program. And they decided, and we are supporting them in forming their own associations. And I mean, that's really fantastic, because not only associations, because they are part of the group and everything. So they started to sew masks in their community and for their municipality. So I really think that this effect of connection and learning from each other absolutely is something that is really beautiful and useful, and something what brings good things.
Yeah, and so you're really having an impact. It's really exciting. So this online training, there was somebody who's actually saying that they would like to have the link, and they're really interested. So the question is, how do you select women to participate? Can anybody participate in the online training, or how are you doing it?
I mean, for right now, you know, because this is just beginning. I mean, because it's always particular training with particular subject.
Yes, right.
For particular group, which is related for that place. What that.
So it's like tailored. So you kind of depending on what they need. Right.
I mean, potentially we can explore what can be shared broadly, but each association has its own specifics, you know, but
exactly.
Potentially we can work on that. You know how it is when you start something and then you improve and create more, maybe create it so it can be
exactly.
whatever,
So you
public or usage for other people.
Right, exactly. I mean, this is one of the things, you know, you know how I always try and think of the silver lining, right? And I think like one of the good things that I see coming out of this is that we are all trying things differently, because we have to, but maybe there are actually things that we want to hold on to, right? And maybe there are things that we've been wanting to do for a while, but we've never like gotten round to it, because it's hard to change, isn't it? Change is hard, but then once you're forced to embrace change, and then you do something, you suddenly think, actually, this online education, I mean, Saida, that is incredible, right? Because it's less resource intensive, so it doesn't cost as much, right? And also you can reach, potentially, you can reach far more far more people. That's really exciting. Well done, you.
It is. It is. I mean, as you said, like we keep things as we know them. And that's how it works. But in reality, I think that this new situation will help all of us, particularly civil society, to see things maybe from different perspective. Although I have to say that like work that we are doing as Women for Women, generally, there is magic energy that you maybe can't get through online. But some good combination can be done, or something. A beautiful thing is that it's in front of us now, and we can explore what is the best, what can work, how we can work it, you know, and platforms, and also like in our case, the majority of women actually did have access to internet, so that they participated.
That, right?
They participate. Maybe some didn't have, but they took from their children or something like that. But that's something also that we can think of, you know, in exchange for having less costs of the trainings, and maybe providing phones or access to internet. So I really think that it's opportunity to see things different way.
Yeah. And what do you think is one of the biggest challenges that that you, like Zena Zadzene, and women are facing in Bosnia right now?
Oh,
I know it's a huge question, but just like one off the top of your head, what is the, you know?
I mean, I think that being in quarantine is something what makes it hard for us, because we do have that experience, and I really think that it makes us nervous, you know.
Do you think it brings back memories, and
it brings memories, and you know, when we started to be isolated last time, it didn't go well, so so we are just hoping that this is not going to be nothing similar or anything like that. So I would say, I mean, that's, and I mean, if I see it from, let's say, bigger perspective, I think that economy already started to go down in Bosnia. So it's difficult really to say what is like the biggest problem. I participated in some meetings of civil societies where it's reported that domestic violence against women is enormously increased, and that actually it is increased, but you can't even get information because we are isolated, and so that's something that is I would say big issue.
It's a challenge, yeah. There's actually somebody here, Elisa, she's saying that pursuing a real career and getting jobs is also a challenge that she sees in Bosnia. And I know that is something that you identified, Saida, which is why you created the business academy, didn't you? Because
Yes.
you know that finding jobs is so
Yeah,
hard, isn't it?
definitely, definitely. I mean, we created, we definitely wanted to work with young women. After all of this experience, great, huge experience working with women from rural areas who, women who really, really, really needed lots of support. And after so many years working with them, and still are working, and we will work with them, there is no doubt, we definitely wanted to support young women. And first initial idea was, and the drive to start to work with young women was actually to teach young women as they are young, before they start to work, to support women in rural area, and to educate. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And then we started, and then when we started to work with them, then we were amazed how young women are responding to education that they went through in our academy. And then we started really kind of regularly to work with them. And then we realized that there are young women who are very much interested for like social part and political part.
So much. I mean, that was really something that moved me so much, and I have not forgotten the level of activism and the level of desire. And it was very little actually about improving their own lives. Yes, maybe that is, like a part, but the main was actually about improving the life of others, right? And the community around them, and the work.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And there is a number. I mean, I can't say right now, like precisely, but there is a number of new associations that are led by our young women participants. But yes, really? They are doing different kind of activities in their communities, because remember, they came from different parts of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It wasn't just from So I mean, I can't say, but definitely maybe close to 10 number of new associations that they are doing. And we would love to work with them more, and the reason, it's resources that we have to get in, but there is huge potential. And we had 4 generations, I think, 4 generations of young women who came either for academy democracy or business academy, because some of them were really into business and wanted to learn about business. And last group that we had, because within academy they have kind of practical work that we support them to have, basically to practice things that they are learning through the academy. And one group actually practiced their activities or developed a small project with one of our women's associations in Jablanica. You know where Jablanica is. And to hear from young women and to hear from women from association how wonderful that was and what kind of connection that was, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what we were always hoping that it will happen. But for real change, you need time, and you really need to constantly work towards that.
But this is the thing, right? Saida, you and I, we always talk about this. You have to have a North Star. Like, you've got to have a vision, and you've got to hold on to it, because you're gonna encounter bumps along the way, aren't you? You are, and then you have to find money to raise. You have got to find the right people, and you just have to keep going. And then one day, things like what you just described will happen, and then you see them coming together, and you knew that the vision that you had all along was the right one. And it's like, and then it's like, yay!
It was absolutely like that. I was like, oh my God, this is happening, And I'm sure, like, if we work more, that it would happen more, because even earlier, when we had a couple of young women who joined women from associations, they were also delighted, and they even were writing about them and their success and everything. I really believe in working together, putting things together, different things together, and enlarging really impact. I really think it's something very, very important.
Yeah,
and also for me, like working with young women, it's fantastic because, you know, we need new energy, and supporting women is long run, I would say. And it's beautiful that young women are taking over, that they are continuing to do so, and that they are getting their own vision how they can support women. So
I love that. I love that, because I think this is exactly it, Seida, no? And I think it definitely is. We're definitely in this for the long run. We have been in this for the long run.
Yes, obviously.
Because, you know, it's not going to happen overnight, and we know this, but change does happen, and it happens all the time. But it happens when when we take ownership of the destiny we want to create, and that will be different for everybody. And I remember when we had the Democracy Academy, you know, we talked about this, and you could tell that each woman owned it themselves, and that is the best that we can do, is to inspire each other to believe that we can be the change, you know, that we can create that future that we want to see. And I think that that's what you've created, and you have created a sense, you know, in Bosnia amongst the association and the women that you have trained and supported, with the support of women from all over the world and men. You know, you have created a sense that they're not alone, that they are not alone, and that is a feeling that you can't, you know, you can do anything when you know you're not alone. It really kind of feels like that, isn't that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think like testimony of young women when they are in their academies, and when they are talking about like how inspirational for them is, like sharing love among themselves. Oh my God, it's just beautiful to listen. It's beautiful really to witness it. You know, it's, in some moment I say, okay, I did my work. It's, you know, it's, and I really think that Žene za žene and Women for Women have wonderful people around, wonderful people who do work, and wonderful people that we work with in terms of women that we are serving, and that all together we are really, really creating something beautiful on this earth. And I think that it's very much needed. Everyone really needs positive energy, love, positive things happening, and you know, support from each other. So I really think that Women for Women, absolutely, and Zeynep Salbi, who really started this organization, really can be happy what happens till now, and I'm really sure that it will happen more in future.
Yeah. What a wonderful way to end this beautiful conversation. Saida, I love you so much.
I love you.
Everything you're doing is so wonderful. I love your team. I send them all my love.
Thank you.
It is absolutely wonderful. We are here for you. You know that. We are sisters. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing stories from the wonderful work that you're doing. And thank you all for joining in the conversation.
Thank you, Brita. It's wonderful spending time with you. I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed sharing my story. And thank you, everybody who joined us. And Nirmana, fantastic. It's really fantastic.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Kisses, hugs, and everything. Bye.
Bye. Bye.